And finally this evening, Richard Osman's Thursday Murder Club, which follows the mystery of the murder of a property developer in a fictitious Kent retirement village, is being adapted into a feature film. Well, there's no new episode of our movie discussion show, the Kent Film Club, this week. It'll be returning next week, but we'll be having our own discussion here. I've got Kent Film Club presenter Chris Deacy here with me. We'll be discussing another type of club today.
Well, I was just thinking, well, we may not have an episode, Bartholomew, of Kent Film Club, but the Thursday Murder Club would be a very fine substitute.
Absolutely. And it's an interesting one as well because obviously it's a very popular book. Have you managed to pick it up?
No, I haven't. But of course, this came out in 2020, early 21. And I think there are 3 subsequent sequels. And of course, now the big movie adaptation.
Yes. And we know that Hollywood and the like loves a sequel and loves a trilogy. So, and part of that being directed by Chris Columbus.
Spot on, of course. Well, Home Alone, and he obviously directed the first 2 of those, but of course Harry Potter as well.
Yes.
And Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes,
so
brilliant.
If I was a guest on my own programme, I'm sure even Mrs. Doubtfire would be up there. So I can't wait to see this.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, does that give you a bit of an indication of what we could expect from an adaptation from Chris Columbus? Obviously, he's done those before.
Yeah, and he's very sort of very family-oriented, but also very working well with cast. And I mean, I don't know if you've seen the cast of this, but you've got, James Bond himself, or one of the iterations, not Timothy Dalton, what am I saying? Pierce Brosnan,
yes.
who's not playing the spy. I think that's going to be Helen Mirren. He's going to be playing the trade union official. So what a cast that I thought. I saw Jonathan Pryce, Ben Kingsley, Richard E. Grant.
Some of them on the screen there. Now, David Tennant is supposedly coming with it, and fans of EastEnders, Danny Dyer is going to be part of it as well. Yeah, I mean, this is a really packed out cast. I wanted to ask about adaptations. Do you tend to read the books before the films? I mean, that's a really interesting one. I wanted to hear from you.
It is. Now, I remember reading The End of the Affair by Graham Greene, and I think I saw the film first. It prompted me to read the novel. And you see, sometimes it works both ways, because sometimes a novel can be better in terms of developing character. It can be very good in terms of, whetting the audience's, the reader's appetite. I mean, some of the Da Vinci Code adaptations, I always found that they tried to make the film version very literally, almost like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. And sometimes you just feel that they've literally turned what's on the page into a film. The best film adaptations are those when they get the gist of the film, but you have the real sort of texture, and it goes its own way, and you have all the lighting, the cinematography. It's not simply a case of relocating a plot, because there's more to a film than the story. So adaptations can work, but it doesn't always follow. I hope that this will be an exception, but it doesn't always follow that a really good book translates into a really excellent film. But with a cast like this, how can it not?
Oh, absolutely. And as well, with a murder mystery novel, if you've already read the book, you know what's going to happen at the end. So maybe some twists could be in there along the way, and people would like that.
When you think of all those adaptations at the moment, sort of based on Agatha Christie, but those films where Daniel Craig has been playing the elusive detective with the funny accent, there's all of this. There's so many twists, and also set in East Sussex. But is there not a KMTV connection?
Well, potentially. I was going to mention it. I mean, it's always great to see a Kent connection to any film. Obviously, there was The Empire of Light in Margate, which drew loads of people to Margate. But yeah, there is a Kent Tonight mention in the book. People can go and buy the book and have a read of it, and they'll see where Kent Tonight. So who knows? Maybe we'll get an invite at some point from Richard Osman himself.
We might be one of the characters.
Well, maybe. Brilliant. Chris, thank you very much for joining us. Kent Film Club back next Thursday, but I'm sure this evening and throughout the week there'll be repeats to watch back on. So good stuff. Thank you very much. That is it for this evening. We'll be back tomorrow with another Kent Tonight. See you then. Bye-bye.